saw this video, and this is what I fuck with because we talk about. I had a show, International Leftist Movement. I talk about foreign policy and brainstorm ideas on how to form an international movement because when you look at global capital, when you look at Jeff Bezos and his power and influence, it goes far beyond the United States border. Well, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I don't see us challenging capitalist power without having some sort of international movement. So I want to show this video because I saw this not too long ago, and I want you to speak on this because this is you, and I want you to explain more about the background behind this. You're speaking on Cuba and the importance of international solidarity. So let's watch this video to remind you what this is, and I want to get your.
If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down.
Oh man, when I went to Cuba for the first time, it was the most powerful trip I took in all my journeys across the globe, and that country showed me the resiliency of people through and through. To have a blockade in place for over 60 years and to see people with such joy as if they have everything, that reminded me that our fight is so much greater than ourselves. And I was happy to experience that for myself, and not only for myself, with my union who actually joined me on the trip. A lot of Amazon workers who never saw that type of experience was able to experience that as well. So for us, it just lit the fire back up, and now we're expanding that. You know, we're here in solidarity with the National Network of Cuba here, the Hands Off Cuba delegation out of the U.S. we're representing, and to be out in front of the White House tomorrow to amplify ending the blockade. But not only that, having the Cuban folks and organization show up today in front of Jeff Bezos' $28 million museum home to help me amplify our work, our workers' struggles and our voices, ending the blockade, fighting for a contract for these Amazon workers, and also the wrongful death of Pushan Brown, the 38-year-old Black woman who lost her life during COVID. These struggles are all connected, you know, and I'm glad that I was able to demonstrate today and bring people together today.
So I'm glad that you focusing on Cuba. Do you want to give us more information about what this event was and why you think it's important to raise the issue of the Cuban embargo?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that event is that was done just out of the spur of the moment, really, for support from my sister, Christina Brown, Pushan Brown's sister, who lost her life during the pandemic working at a fucking warehouse for Amazon. She was a COVID tester, testing other employees, went home one day, never woke up, left behind her daughter, Gabby. Amazon didn't do anything for this family. If it wasn't for another worker of hers reaching out to me and me getting in contact with her in the beginning and trying to help her get that story out there and help her financially, she wouldn't have had nothing. So 3 years later, we're outside of Jeff Bezos' house, reminding him that we still want justice. And she filed a federal lawsuit against them in the state of Virginia. So if anybody down there listening, she's going to need all the support because they're doing the same thing they've done to me. They're trying to, discredit her statements, and they're trying to make her feel like she's isolated and alone. And we can't do that to this Black woman. So once again, I just brought people out there, a lot of people I organized with when I went down to Cuba for the first time this year. We were in town at the same time. I felt like the movements need to come together. And they showed up for me, and vice versa. I showed up for them in front of the White House the next day. Going to Cuba for the first time this year, meeting the president, working with the CDC, the largest union of the country. It was powerful. It was very powerful. It taught me a lot of discipline, a lot of resiliency, and militancy. You know, they showed me how it is. We got to get up every day, crack of dawn. You get 3 meals a day, and they want you to be on point. And it really brought me back to the basis of organizing is having that discipline to know that we only have one common goal right now, and that's to defeat our oppressors. And when we came back, you know, that's exactly what the type of energy that we want to keep. And ending the blockade is something that we absolutely took a stance on, and I got to call this out though, because now that we are talking about it, I shouldn't be one of the very few only labor leaders in the world, in the country, that's taking a stance on ending the blockade. We need a lot more union presidents, especially the ones we talking about, since the Teamsters, the hot commodity, all of them. Their offices is right across the street from the White House. Something needs to happen, and they need to take stances as well.
Yeah, well, so I want to get Andrew in here. Andrew, is there anything you want to chime in on? If not, you can pass it to Rome. Anything you want to chime in on? Anything you want to ask regarding the conversation?
I mean, no, I think that pushing back against that embargo or any other type of sanctions is also pushing for domestic wages to be better. I mean, the only reason that we have these sanctions really is to devalue people's labor in other countries so that, Amazon can exploit it. And it's the same reason that you can legally be, Mexican or Honduran or someone else coming to work in the U.S. And getting paid half or a third of minimum wage. It's to just divide and conquer labor. So I definitely think you're right on there. I mean, I have questions, but I'll save them for later if they come up again.